Hello everyone and welcome back to Fallout Wasteland Warfare, my settlement mode playthrough. I apologise for starting with the extreme close-up of the settlement mode sheet, but I don't want to give away the table layout until we've gone over the mission overview. There's quite a bit to take in. But we are starting properly with the New Hope settlement in Season 2 today. They're out on a mission already, but first of course we have to actually do the settlement mode setup. But we're not going to focus as much on this season because it's not as important. What is important is where we end up. That said, we ended Season 1 with 305 caps exactly, if I remember correctly. Now, we're going to potentially, depending on how things play out, get the opportunity to get a discounted power armor station. Just in general in the series, I won't be specific about where or when. So I'm not going to buy that, plus we don't even have any power armor yet, so it's not like we need to prioritise repairing it. But what I am going to do, if we flip over to this page real quick, is buy a second ranger outpost for 100 caps. That means we can do 2 explore cards for free before we start each mission, mostly just for the random nature of them, the fun. So we're going to count them both as being done now rather than just, well actually no, I usually did it that we have to wait for it to build for the next mission. So we'll just do the one this time. I forgot that's the way I approached building stuff in the settlement. So we're going to do the 1 explorer. We'll bank 205 caps. Well, potentially we might be about to spend some. So let's cut the deck here, why not? And we'll do this one, whatever it is. The Helpful Scribe, oh that's very apropos. A field scribe youth, Raddy Williams, now grey and balding, learned that helping others reaps rewards later. This is so apropos it actually hurts. As part of his fantastic network of contacts, he says he'll meet you at the rendezvous. At the start of the next battle, gain 2 boost cards and you may discard 2 tokens gained due to Explorer cards. Well, I haven't gained any tokens from Explorer cards, but 2 free boosts at the start of the next battle? That's neat. Alright, I'll put that to one side to remind myself. The other thing we need to handle is our inventory. We can currently bring 4 things into battle, we can bring 5 things back, and we can retain 4 in New Hope. So the inventory we currently have is actually beneath the sheet, so we'll just move this real quick, and just like that we have our inventory. Boost count, 2 boost count is 1 thing for the purposes of bringing into battle. For this battle I'm not going to bring the laser rifle we got because of who we're fighting. I am going to bring the Hunter's Hunting Rifle for sure, bring the Incendiary Assault Rifle for sure, bring the Nuka-Cola to potentially just get rid of it, plus the heal. And we're going to get free boosts, so I don't think I need to bring the 2 we have. So let's bring... Let's bring... You know, actually for this mission, the Stealth Boy might be super useful. Yeah, let's bring that. So we can store 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's good. We won't be able to bring everything back if we get some items on the mission, but that's okay. Speaking of which, let's see the overview. Quest 1, picking up the pieces. A win will result in 200 caps, a loss will result in +1 Brotherhood reliance. New Hope has suffered structural damage due to the recent attacks. To build back up, some materials are desperately needed, including cement, tools and oil. Trade is slow, so heading out into the wastes to find what's needed seems like the only option. The Brotherhood of Steel offer to provide some of the needed repairs, but being in their debt may have consequences later, so for now it's into the wastes once more. So hopefully you've heard the quest overview. At this point we'll cover the specifics of the mission in a moment once we look at the team that's actually leaving No Hope to do this, being led by, of course, the sole survivor loner with his trusty Dogmeat Scout. He's been given the Incendiary Hunting Rifle out of the gear we're actually bringing with us. We have Pennywise, his trusty Mr. Handy, equipped as usual, and then we have, who joined us quite late last season, it's the Sturgis Mini, uses the Sturgis card, but we're going to need to find another name for him, a unique name. I was considering the name Webb, W-E-B-B, but if you want to suggest one in the comments, feel free to do so, because we're still at the start of the season. There's no opportunity to vote on anything at the end of this one, just because of the way that the quest is kind of getting us started. So by all means, if you want to suggest a name for not Sturgis, feel free. He's equipped with a 44 revolver as standard. He's got specialist for that, so he's +2 better with it. Then we have returning our settler from Season 1. She's been given the Hunter's Hunting Rifle for this mission, as well as the Nuka-Cola. Now this miniature on the end here is going to represent our free tech from Season 1. We finally decided to give him some clothes. He's still going to be equipped with a shotgun as standard, and he's still going to be using his terrible stats. but it just didn't feel right him walking around in a loincloth. So he's been given some clothes. This is going to represent the as of yet unnamed free tech, and he's been given the stealth boy. He's going to maybe be my objective runner for this match, I feel. And I think that covers all the extra gear we're bringing in. Everything else is standard. Pipe wrenches, combat shotgun, Mr. Handy stuff, dog bite, 10mm pistol, as well as the incendiary assault rifle on the sole survivor. And we do have to quickly resolve that helpful scribe, because we're going to start the battle soon. So I'm just going to draw those boosts here. We're going to cut the deck right here. Why not? We draw 2 special skills. Play after a skill roll plus bottle. So that's to make a special thing happen. You can do it. And sudden movement. Gain quick action, move or charge for this model's activation. Requires, I believe that means VATs to use it, or no, it requires a quick action to use it. Neither of these seems super useful, but hey, they're for free from the helpful scribe, so why not? So here's an overhead view of the battlefield, and you'll know from the mission overview what we're doing here. We're looking for crucial supplies to repair New Hope after that behemoth attack. And if we are unsuccessful, then we'll have to rely on the Brotherhood to help fix New Hope, which has a repercussion. +1 to Brotherhood Reliance, the nebulous stat that will be getting tracked through the season. Not going to go into too much detail about it, but just keep it in mind. Not necessarily a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a thing to keep in mind. So the way we're going to track this is we have come to a partially sunken coastal area, and it's infested with mire lurks, but we need to try and find that cement, oil, etc. So there is blue markers, there's 6 of them. There's one down here, along with a dog here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one on top of the building there. The way those markers usually work is once you can see them, you flip them. They're just being used as objective tokens for the purposes of this mission. You have to get into base to base, flip it over, and there is 3 of them that have a item box on it. That means you found one of the things you need, and 3 that are blank. I was going to randomize them on camera to prove that they were randomized, but I needed to set up the map, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I have no idea which 3 are the right ones and which 3 are not. They are equally kind of spread across this half of the table anyway, so even if I did know, still got quite a ways to travel. There is also just some generic items. They're mostly there as honeypots, because really this is going to be a tightly timed mission, so there isn't a lot of time to go grabbing extra stuff. That's because this area is so heavily infested with mire lurks, they need to get in, get out. How fast? 5 turns I think sounds fair. They have 5 turns to find the 3 things they need and get out. If they get within orange of a table edge, that's them considered out, if they have this stuff they need to get away. You start down here, as I've deployed them, yellow in a little box here. But the specifics for the map, the area is so heavily infested that the eggs are going to be immortal, because there's no point hitting them. They just show where the biggest infestations are. So there's an egg cluster here, an egg cluster here, and an egg cluster here. It's from those that every turn, any mirelurk hatchlings, and there's 3 on the table already, 1, 2, and over there for 3. If they die, they just instantly respawn at the top of the next round. So there's a constant stream of them. There's not going to be any sitting still and constantly firing, because the enemies are endless. There is also 2 actual fully grown mirelurks, 1 there and 1 there. Those won't respawn, but they're also very difficult to take down. That's why I didn't want to bring the energy weapon. So 5 turns, get to the 3 successful blue markers if possible, maybe pick up some extra loot on the way, otherwise they'll have to turn to the Brotherhood with their tail between their legs. So 5 turns to try and get that done, a constant mirelurk threat. Let's see how this plays out. So as we get the first turn started here, it was Dogmeat who activated, but first a couple of things I forgot to mention. If you plan to do this kind of scenario for yourself, making the survivors go first, even though they have the numbers advantages, because they're here to disturb the mirelurks. The mirelurks are just minding their own business, so they go first regardless of difference in numbers. Second, created a quick item deck for the match. Just picked at random, honestly. I like the true RNG, so this could be literally anything. So I think that was everything we needed to cover. Oh, of the perks we picked or got for free from that Explorer, sudden movement's been given to the free tech. He might actually make use of it. Anyway, Dogmeat activated. He moved twice, ending his turn in base to base with this item. So he's going to loot it, because I don't think there's anything that stops him doing so. Well, a lock would certainly do that, and dogs don't know how to unlock doors, thank goodness. So that's just going to have to sit there, and potentially someone else will go and get it, because I don't think Dogmeat has the... he can't possibly. No, he doesn't. Okay. So for the enemies, it was the Mirelurk who's right at the back who got randomised to activate, but they're all just being aggressive. They all just want to try and get the interlopers, as it were, so he just moved forwards twice right here. This mission is going to be an exercise in restraint, where I've got to resist just attacking them, because we don't have time. Hopefully all the markers we need to check are kind of in the middle, but if it's either of those last two over there, they're so far away it's going to take like 3 turns to get there, so there's very little time to actually stand and shoot. I activated the Sole Survivor next, and he simply moved up twice along here. He is right next to a cluster of eggs. They're only dangerous if some hatchlings die. Forgot to mention, again, there's always things, but for any hatchlings that are spawning, it'll be roll a d3 and pick one of the hatchling or the eggs, because there's 3 egg clusters, so it'll just be a d3 roll to see which one they respawn at. If you wanted to make this a little bit harder on yourself, you could make it the closest one to a threat, as in one of your units, but that's up to you. Well, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but both fully grown Mirelurks activated, so the other one is gone, simply moved up as well, and if you pardon the pun, are kind of doing a pincer movement in this middle bit here. But that does mean I can hopefully flee around the sides with some people who I just want to objective run. New Hope's trusty Mr. Handy, Pennyworth activated, moved up red, and then charge distance green into that Mirelurk to operation keep him busy. Oh, in case you're wondering why the other settler isn't here, the scavenger, sorry. We're still running with the rule that at least one of my team have to stay at New Hope. Last season it was because of the potentiality of radar attacks. This season so far it's to keep an eye on the Brotherhood of Steel. Of the 3 Mirelurk hatchlings on the board, the one on this flank activated. After one yellow move he could see dog meat, so that meant he could initiate a charge. They only charge yellow as well, they're not like dangerous much. Oh, in great numbers I guess they could be. So he actually did make it thanks to his larger base into base-to-base contact with Dogmeat, and much like Pennyworth did, has taken a black die as his charge bonus, just randomised for the AI though. So as much as mobility is king in this particular mission we're doing today, which is the first I think, I still want to shoot the stuff. So the settler is moving up, so at least we're making some forward momentum, but I want her to take a shot with her hunter's hunting rifle at these Mirelurk hatchlings, just outside of short range, so it's 2 green dice, and the black die is because she is shooting at a monster / wildlife. She needs 6s to knock the building, and that would be a crit fail. That's what they call a expletive. Second last activation for the enemy, the second Mirelurk hatchlings activated, charged into Pennyworth and is attacking him. It's also getting to attack twice because it's at full health because of a roll they have. So 1 base green die is just what they attack with, 1 green die for outnumbering, and taking a black die for the charge bonus, so that will disappear on the subsequent hit. And it's 4s. 6 comes down to 5, that's a miss, so we take out the black die because it's no longer a charge. And the second one is a crit fail. Hey, it's not only my team that roll crit fails when they roll dice, nice. So we're now fully clothed, the free tech is activating, and he's my fastest guy, he moves red. Well, I guess Pennyworth does too, but he's sturdy, so he needs to take some hits. He moved up twice, and he is popping his stealth boy. So, as I understand it, that means it lasts 2 turns. Oh, that is very reflective, apologies. Hopefully that's a little bit better. So, it lasts 2 turns, so if any enemy wants to engage with him, attack, or melee or ranged, you have to test to see if you can actually see him. A perception test -4, which basically means the Mirelurks will only see him on a crit, because they're not very perceptive. So that will hopefully allow him to sneak through, or for them to prioritise other targets instead. So that's the goal. We've been holding on to that stealth boy for so long that either way it's time to get rid of it and make room for better stuff. Final Mirelurk hatchlings moved up and then charged and got into base to base with the Sole Survivor loner. So they also took a black die, just randomly selected, as their charge bonus, and is going to inconvenience him next turn. Last activation for the turn, Not Sturges moved up yellow. I'm going to have him shoot into those hatchlings. Even though they just respawn, if he somehow managed to kill them, they might respawn across the map, which would be beneficial. So he's a specialist with his 44 revolver and he's shooting into combat, so that puts him up to 8. Yeah, that's a hit for an armor break and an extra point of damage, but who's he hitting? So we'll say 1 in 3 is the Sole Survivor. Okay, good. He is hitting the Mirelurks. They don't have any armor, so that just straight up puts the base damage of it. That's 2, so straight up it does 3 damage, and they have 3 health. So he did kill them, but they're going to respawn when we get to the event phase in a second. Well, turn 1 of 5 already done. Let's see what event is going to be taking place in turn 2. Firebirds overhead, aka nothing. But we do have one more additional thing to do. We've got to roll. I'm just going to roll a d6 as explained. And we'll d3 where the respawn is. That's a 1, that's a 2, and down here is a 3. So we don't want a 5 or a 6 basically. Okay, good. So the Mirelurk hatchlings respawn all the way up there as we go into turn 2. So it was only in the first round that you take first activation for sure, regardless of numbers. Second round is back to how it usually is, so the Mirelurks at a disadvantage, they have first activation. This Mirelurk hatchling swarm down here was selected. They're going to try and gnaw at dog meat, and because of that rule for where you do one attack for every 2 health they have, and you round up and they have 3 health, so they get 2 attacks per attack. They're attacking 4 times with a charge bonus on the first one. Into pure dog meat. Their bite just does 1 base damage with a green die thrown in. It's not super dangerous or anything. And they need 4s. So unfortunately, did we do anything on a bottle cap? They do not. That's a succeed right there. And dog meat has 2 physical armor plus 1 super armor. He didn't block any, so the super armor goes away and takes away that bonus bit of damage. But he still takes 1. But that's that black die gone now, so that's fine. So it's just a green die. Second of the first attack, because of the way they work, it's a hit for extra damage. Okay, wait, is that a 7? Sorry, that's a 7, that's a miss. Which is just as well, because he wouldn't have fully blocked it. So then his other action begins, he's doing 2 more attacks. No bonus dice though. That's a hit. So that's just 1 damage though, which dog meat blocks. Then the final attack, it's a 6, and that's not good enough. Oh no, it comes down by 2 to a 4 though, so it is perfectly good enough. 1 more damage. He fails. Okay, that's fine. So Dogmeat in total has taken 2 damage, just like that. So there's a lot of good choices to activate first from my side, but I'm going to activate the free tech. He's moving up red. He's still using that stealth boy. Either way, that Mirelurk is going to have to test perception against him because he's obviously the closest threat. I want to end his turn there though, so that he can examine that fire pit. The marker is the fire pit, but obviously I couldn't balance it on there because of the fire. So he is going to flip that at the end of his turn to see if that's one of the things we're after. And in the meantime though, he's going to take out his shotgun and blast that Mirelurk. Point blank range, 2 black dice, but his skill is a measly 3. We need to get him some kind of upgrade. Never mind, or he could just crit, that's fine too. Nothing from the bottle cap, but that is just 2 damage against the Mirelurk's 2+1 armor. And it blocked all of it. Fair enough. The more important part though is this a dud or is this an objective? It is one of the 3 objectives, so that is one of the 3 things we need collected. Incidentally, if anyone holding one gets knocked out, taken out, killed in combat, they drop it where they are. RNG is being relatively kind to me. This Mirelurk hatchling swarm is activating next in the shadow of this building, attacking Pennyworth 4 times in total across 2 actions, needing 4s. Didn't have the armor dice ready, but that's a swing and a miss for the first of 4. Second of 4, that's a 7. That's not one of those lying 1s I was thinking earlier. Third attack, that's a hit. That's a big hit. It's only 1 damage though. So 1 damage against 2 physical armor, I believe. He blocks it. And then the final hit is a crit fail, which is just as well because it would have come down by 3. Oh, the extra green die incidentally was the outnumbered bonus. So I activated the Settler next. I don't like that she's not making much forward momentum, but I need more than just Dogmeat going up the left flank in case that's where the objectives are that I need. So she's moving twice along here. She's going to sneak around the building, let Dogmeat handle those hatchlings, and head towards maybe climbing that ladder to get onto the roof up there. For the AI, it was the recently respawned Mirelurk hatchlings that activated. Their numbers are endless, we are legion, etc. They moved up twice, and it got them right there. Very dangerously close to the slightly invisible free tech. Alright, let's try some good old fashioned dog bites. The classic, nothing extra added on, needing 6s. Ideally, that's a 9, 8, 7, 6. It actually did hit. Did the stars do anything on a dog bite? It gives them a quick action. That could be relevant actually. So that is 2 damage coming in against... Oh, no armor, so it's just 2 damage. Do we have that marker here? Yep, sorry, for stretching. There we go, 2 damage. So he's got 1 left. What can Dogmeat do with a quick action? He can move afterwards. So he will bite again then, because I was hoping to take that out in 1, but I guess that was wishful thinking. 6s. It hit, it broke his non-existent armor, it killed him. but he'll be back at the end of the turn, as explained. Now he's going to use that quick action to move, but it's 1 speed less, so it goes down from red to yellow, but that's okay, because that means we're sort of kind of making forward momentum. So Dogmeat's going to end his turn over there. So this Mirelurk right here has activated, and first of all he's going to test perception to see whether or not he's spotted the free tech. If he has, he's going to go attack him. If he hasn't, he's going to move down there and charge Pennyworth. So it's only on a crit, because they're perception 3 and it's a -4 skill test, so crit. Thank goodness. He can't see the free tech slips by, he is a ninja in the night. Move there, initiate charge, and Pennyworth, I need you to hold off 2 fully grown Mirelurks and Mirelurk hatchlings for like 3 turns. That'd be great. Well, speaking of, I'm going to go with Pennyworth now, because the only other activation for the AI is the other Mirelurk, so he's going to get smacked around a little bit. Make use of that charge bonus he took, the black die. Doesn't really matter which Mirelurk he's going after. He's ignoring the hatchlings, he wants them stuck attacking him, because they're not going to do much damage to him, and it keeps everyone else safe. So, with the charge bonus, why am I holding the armor dice? That's all he's getting with his Mr. Handy Buzzsaw, and it is a 6 or less. That's a crit, which is just as well, because the other 2 were blank. That is 2 base damage against 2 + 1 armor. So only the +1 applies, so that is 1 damage to... I didn't really specify which Mirelurk, but the one he engaged with is what I was talking about. And the other attack, without the black die this time. Critical fail. Oh well. Well, as explained, we're sticking over here. That Mirelurk is going to try and eat some metal. That's what they roll. Oh, actually, he should have another green die for outnumbered bonus. There we go. So that's what they're rolling. My mistake. And it is 5s or less with extra damage on... We only count what rolls in here. Well, that was a crit fail, so... But extra damage on... bottle caps. Sorry, not bottle caps, just balls. That's a 9, comes down to an 8. Thank goodness he missed. Pennyworth just needs to hold that cluster of enemies on him. Alright, we're just over to 2 of my activations. Soul Survivor. Oops, forgot to bring along his super armor. Moving. Didn't go the full movement though. He's stopping to search this, because who could resist finding a... Well, okay, he did find an item, but he found a danger card. Going to need to look at the danger card. I'm going to stretch over here for the randomly selected items, and we'll just cut it somewhere, and we have found a machete, which he already has. Oh well, now he has 2, I guess. And let's see how bad the danger is. Cut the deck. Securitron voice. You accidentally kick something in the dirt with discarded voice box of a Securitron. Please obey all weapon laws. Test luck. You pass, no effect, otherwise causes trigger up to 2 awareness, no line of sight, and friendly models within yellow must remove. Prepared. Well, even if he fails this, it doesn't really matter. But let me just stretch across for the skill die real quick. He's luck 4. He actually passed it, so it doesn't matter. Okay. And the last activation for the second turn, I'm going to move up and not Sturges twice, sending him slightly in this direction. I want him to kind of go try and snatch that up while the Soul Survivor goes for that one. And then if we still need to, Sturges can then go after, not Sturges can then go after that one. Free Tech can aim for that one. Survivor aims for that one. Basically, I'm just trying to narrow in, but we still have to get out as well. That's the thing. But either way, that takes us to the end of the second turn. Alright, end of turn event. Then we have 1 to Mirelurk hatchling to respawn. The event is Dust Cloud. No attacks at long range. Probably not going to be relevant. Forgot this the last time it was drawn. But we do need to respawn Mirelurk hatchlings. Same as before. 1, 2, 3 on a D3. That's a 1 again. So that's really good actually. They're spawning up there in the crater as well. So RNG is once again on my side, because it was the freshly respawned Mirelurk hatchlings that were activated first by the AI in turn 3 of 5. It moved twice, and I think the stealth point is worn off now, so the nearest threat is the free tech. So I'm going to need to get him out of there in case the other hatchlings activate, because they could slow him down. Yeah, so sure enough, it's get the free tech out of there. Thank goodness he moves red. He is ending his turn next to... Actually, you know what? That searchable is supposed to be the crate, not the fence, so he hasn't quite reached it. So in that case, he's actually going to go after this one this turn, because I want to flip one over. Yeah, I forgot that marker was for the crate, so that's fine. We'll just move him there, and he has found nothing. So that's the first nothing. Found 1 successful, 1 not, so that means of the 4 markers, there's still 2 that are what we need. Well, it's time for this round's game of Whack-A-Robot. This Mirelurk that charged in last turn is activating, so he's rolling 2 extra green dice, 1 for his charge bonus randomly selected, 1 for outnumbering. Needs 5s, and he succeeded. Oh boy, did he succeed! He shatters what, both of... yeah, no, Pennyworth has 3 armor. So he's got 1 armor left against 4 damage. 4? Oh wait, no, they do 1 base, sorry. So against 3 damage, not quite as bad. Okay, so he did block 1 of it, so he blocked that basically, and took 2, which is not great, but could certainly be worse. But hey, minus 1 green die. There's another attack coming in. How's this one going to go? Well, because it comes down to 3 for 1 extra damage. Oh, that black die should have been rolled as part of that. Rolled the same results. Actually, it's 3 damage again against no armor break this time, so against 3 armor. He actually blocked it all. Good show, Pennyworth, good show. Well, it seems like a bit of a waste having the sole survivor all the way on his lonesome down here where no fighting is happening, but I need to start activating these people to narrow down where the successful and unsuccessful objective markers are. So he's moving twice, ending his turn here, and we're going to check if this is a good one or a bad one. It is the second of 3 good ones. Okay, so that's on his person now. We just have 1 last load of repair materials to find in 3 potential locations right there, which would be ideal. There wouldn't be so bad because the free tech is right there. The one that would be quite annoying is up there because you'd have to do climbing and whatnot, but we'll see where it is. The other Mirelurk hatchlings activated. They can't really get into Pennyworth even though he's the closest target, so they went after the next closest, which is everybody's best boy, Dogmeat, and again they could see him after that first move, so they initiated a charge, and thanks to that large base, just made it in. Alright, I went with Not Sturges next because we're going to see if we're lucky or not. Incidentally, it's not like it instantly ends if this is successful. 1, they still need to get within orange of a table edge, and 2, we might as well take the opportunity if it is the one to try and snatch up some extra items. But that depends on how lucky we are. He moved twice, he's ending in base to base with this to do a free reveal. Ha! Okay, so it's not that one. So it's down to 2, on the roof or in front of the bar. Back to Whack-A-Robot, Mirelurk hatchlings into Pennyworth next. Extra green for outnumbering, and it's 4s. That would be a 10, so that's a big swing and a miss. And then their other attack, of their first attack, because again how they work, is a crit fail because they're still at full health. Second action, attack, and it's 2 more. Wow, you're really good at rolling crit fails, you should join my settlement. And then finally, that's a, okay, that comes down to a 0, so that's a big hit. We're going to need to get the block die. I was overconfident and left it over there. He blocked it, haha! So you really shouldn't ignore a dog in distress, but time is of the essence. Who knows when a Mirelurk queen might lurk back into the area. How awesome would that be? It's a shame the miniature's so expensive. Anyway, the settler rather, she moved up twice. She's ignoring Dogmeat's plight because she needs to get to that ladder, because otherwise we might actually run out of time, if that is indeed where the last item is. And like last turn, the last activation for the enemy this turn is the other Mirelurk, with the extra green die for outnumbering per Pennyworth, and it's 5s or less I believe, and that is a big hit for 1 extra damage. So that's 2 damage coming in against his full armor, which he fully blocked, surprisingly. Alright, well, can you do that feat twice? Well, it's definitely hitting you. Ignores 1 of your armor, so you've got 2 physical. He blocked 1 of it. Oh, he didn't do any extra damage, as I just knocked the dice. He didn't do any extra damage, so the base damage was 1. Pennyworth actually took both hits. He is a trooper this time. What happened? Last season he was like he was made of paper. Alright, my last 2 activations are Dogmeat and Pennyworth, so they're just going to smack the things they're engaged with. Starting with Dogmeat, Dogbite into the Mirelurk hatchlings. That is a 9, so sadly even at an 8 it misses. So second attempt, that's a hit. They don't have any armor. What does the star do? Quick action. Great. That turns it into 3 damage. He just killed them. So they'll be respawning very shortly. Let's just put them in there for now. And that quick action he can use to move. So he'll move at speed yellow because it's reduced because it's a quick action. And he'll come around this way to do who knows what next turn. Alright, Pennyworth's going to hit the Mirelurk that's wounded. Just the yellow die, 6s. It hits for 1 armor break, so that puts him at 1+1. He blocked the 1 damage, and it does base 2. So that is 1 damage to him. And that's not good. Oh no, it is. Sorry, it is. It doesn't do anything on the bottle cap, so it's just straight up 2 damage against 2 plus 1. And it only does the plus 1, so in total you gain 2 more damage. Not too shabby. Well, we're going into the penultimate turn. Let's cut the deck here, see what event we're having. Tumbleweeds. Player without advantage selects 1 battlefield edge. The other places 5 blank markers, at least yellow, from each other along the edge where the tumbleweed count as cover. End of each round, move the tumbleweed yellow directly towards the opposite edge. So it's movable cover. You know, at this point we're about to like run off the map. I'm just going to ignore that. That would have been cool though early on in the match. What we do have to do is a spawn, same as before. Oh, that's down here. So nearest threat would be Pennyworth and Sturges, or not Sturges, look pretty equidistant. We'll do Sturges because Pennyworth is surrounded still. Well, we're back in this corner. It is the heavily wounded, well, lightly wounded Mirelurk that is getting the turn started, and he is smacking Pennyworth. And that is a big hit with a triple armor break. No armor. Thankfully no extra damage. So that's just 1 extra damage through, all said and done on that attack. And then the other attack is a crit fail. That's what we like to see. Alright, I have to know if this is the final thing we need over here. So the free tech is moving up there. He's going to end his turn there. He is going to fire his combat shotgun at the Mirelurks right there because he can see them. But that's long range, so there's no extra dice. It's literally just the skill die needing a 3 or less. And it's 2 damage if it hits. Aha. Okay, fair enough. Then, is it over? It is over. Well, it's not over because we need to get out. But he can walk up to the upper edge and be out. This turn, not Sturges, and the Soul Survivor can do the same. Actually, it's just the Soul Survivor that needs to. So Sturges can go after an item if possible, because as long as the ones with items are within orange of an edge, they're safe. Well, bad news for Pennyworth and good news for anyone who likes seeing robots die. The other Mirelurk is activating. Also, I totally forgot the bottle caps should be doing 1 extra damage for their claw attacks. I think there might have been 1 on the last set of rolls. Well, that's a crit fail, so he's been getting so lucky. Well, spoke a little bit too soon, so that is another, that's 2 damage coming in against all 3 armor. Sorry. That's just going to cancel the extra damage, so that's still 1 more, so Pennyworth is up to 4 damage of his 6 health. Alright, I'm going to go with the Settler, and she's going to climb that ladder, or rather attempt to. She has to do an agility test, otherwise she falls when she gets to the top of the ladder. Her agility's 4, so it's not a super high chance. Let's see what she does. Oh good, she actually makes it, so you would treat it as difficult terrain, which just means she'd be moving orange. So I'm just going to put her at the top here. That just means on the final turn she's going to snatch that item. Well, of the 3 Mirelurk swarms, it was the one to the south of the map here that activated first, and 2 yellow moves got him into base to base with Sturges, and taking the green die for his charge bonus. Activate Dogmeat, and his blue charge range was more than enough to get into base to base with those Mirelurks. I am going to attack with a black die bonus, charge die. Kind of don't want him to kill them though, just want him to hold them busy, but let's see. That'll be a crit fail. Good boy. And then we've got 4 attacks coming in from these Mirelurk hatchlings into Pennyworth. Can he still keep on withstanding? Not with those kind of rolls, he can't. We've got to grab the armor dice. So that is just 1 damage with 1 reduced armor though, so that puts him at 2 physical. He blocked the 1 damage. Second of the first attack. It hits. 1 damage. Doesn't block it. Oh no, he does. Sorry, he does. First attack of the second load of it. Oh no. That's a hit for 3 damage against 3 armor. He didn't block any of it. Pennyworth went down. You did so well, buddy. You did so well. You took so many hits and you basically made it possible for us to have a chance. But he is out of there. Alright, I'm activating Sturges. He's going to pull away from combat in order to try and climb that ladder. So the Mirelurks get a free attack against him. I'm actually not sure if you would get the 2 because they're at full health. Either way, that's a big miss even with the -3. Because they would be needing 2s or less currently. Well, he did hit with the other one, so we'll count that. Not Sturges has 2 physical armor. He didn't block any of it, so he actually did take 2 damage. Let me just lean over here real quick for a damage marker. He might be about to take more because he's testing agility to climb that ladder. He's also agility 4. He passed. So he is up there, and that means next turn, on the final turn, he's going to snatch that because the people who have to get off the map are just the Sole Survivor and the Free Tech. Oh, I forgot his super armor for being a unique character, so he actually only has 1 damage on him. It's not going to matter either way though. Well, Dogmeat did this to himself. The final activation for the AI this turn, in the penultimate turn, is 4 nibbles into Dogmeat from that Mirelurk Hatchling Swarm. Just the green die thrown in, although that is 2 damage, of which he blocks all of it. Second of the first attack, it's a miss. First of the second attack, it's a miss. That was 2 8s in a row. And then a crit fail. Alright, you got lucky, Dogmeat. So with Pennyworth down, the only person I have left is the Sole Survivor, and he's going to just hide on the, well, just like hide on the edge, because he just needs to be there by the end of the game. Within game terms, he is still on the table. It's just so he can be classed as, you know, getting off with the objective at the end of the last turn. Once again, forgot the the no long range shots. Only the Free Tech took a long range shot and he missed it anyway. But yeah, I always forget that whenever it's in effect. For the final turn of the game, the event is Helios 1. The first ranged attack each model makes this turn suffers a -2 penalty because of the reflective glare. It probably won't matter much, we're just snatching up some items and getting out. So really there's only 2 activations that matter, and also thanks to Pennyworth being gone, we're now equal, so I'm taking first activation. The Settler's going to grab this item this turn, then Dogmeat might suffer some nibbles from either the Mirelurk or the Mirelurk Hatchlings, then we'll be over to Not Sturges, and then we basically count it as being done, because the Free Tech can just walk off, and he's also fine. So she's just moving up here, ending her turn here to see what this is. It's another item and also another danger. This is just to give us some choices. Well, I had that ready. I'm going to need to look at the danger deck again. Let's see what this is. A hunting rifle, which she also, well, she has the special one currently, but normally just has this. Although having another one of these for the settlement might be not too shabby. And the danger deck. Let's go here. That's literally the same. How on earth did I manage that? Okay, let's go for this one then. Trip grenade. Your foot catches on a tripwire and dislodges the pin from a grenade. Take cover. Grenade explodes. A model receives +1 super armor first. Or try to find the pin. Test. She doesn't have that skill. So she takes 1 super armor and then takes 2 physical damage. So she's at 1+1 armor. She actually blocks. It was 2 damage. She's fine. Well, nothing too spectacular from the Mirelurks. The Hatchlings that were down here fighting Pennyworth activated. 1 move was not enough to get into base to base. So a second one was required, roughly like there-ish, to get it into base to base with Dogmeat. So again, we don't really need to play it the rest of the round beyond this because the Free Tech is in absolutely no danger. Nothing can reach him, nothing spawn near him from that egg nest. So we're just going to end the game after doing this and take our win. But Not Sturgis is finding an item. This is the last chance to find something that isn't something we already have from genuinely just randomly grabbed some of the item cards. Let's go for this. Oh, we actually found armor. Now that is useful because we have very little choice of armor. But we're going to have to look through our items and decide what we're taking back with us. Alright, well that's good though. So there we have it, a win for the Settlers of New Hope. They find what they need to repair the settlement itself and they did not have to ask the Brotherhood for help. However, we do have one last decision to make here. This is everything special that we're taking back, including the stuff we found during this mission. We can take back 5 things. We're definitely taking the jumpsuit we found. We're definitely taking the unique weapons we've been holding on to since Season 1, the Hunter's Hunting Rifle and the Incendiary Assault Rifle that didn't even get fired. But that's 3. We used up the Stealth Boy, it's gone. I don't particularly care about either of those boosts. I think the ones we left at home are better. So I'm okay with those being one of the things that go. We have to get rid of one more of these things. Is the machete better than a pipe wrench? Debatable. 2 damage on a yellow versus 1 damage on a black-green. We don't really need the hunting rifle because we have a hunting rifle as standard. Actually, no we don't. Her standard is a bolt action pipe rifle. But she usually gets given the Hunter's Hunting Rifle, though, so that's... We don't need the Nuka-Cola. Let's get rid of the Nuka-Cola. We're still going to need to dump something next time, though, because we can only bring 4 in store for. So there's still something else going to need to go. But hey, at least I can put off a decision for now. So we didn't have to do relying on the Brotherhood. Although don't be too scared of the Brotherhood reliance. Like, there is going to be some quests later in the season where having help from Recon Squad Shield is basically going to be a necessity. So don't be too scared, but we're not going to get the choice of their help for a little bit yet. There's still a few more introductory missions to go through. It's kind of around a bit the mid-season, actually, that you'll start getting to give your input on that. But you can suggest names for not Sturges. I've got to know, what else was in the item cards I grabbed at random that we could have been finding? There was a minigun, a Gatling laser, gamma gun, some more metal armor, some drugs, a plasma rifle, a power armor mod, another minigun, and a huge club. I am really good at finding the rubbish things I select at random. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. Next time, the settlement will be meeting a very eccentric character, and I think it's going to be a fun one. So come back for that, hopefully aiming to get these out every Friday, but not necessarily able to do that every time. But hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Ta for now.